Good time, dear students. We are heading forward in our course of short fictional narratives. The previous week, I shared a few voice notes with you and asked you to read the story as well as to give your opinion and view on the artistics of the message, or why does it attract you, or why it repels you. I asked you people. Some of you have responded to that, but not all, which is not something pleasant. I expect you all to be contributing in the discussion. So the first short story that I have selected in this course is from Oscar Wilde, and it is necessary that we may know a few words about Oscar Wilde. That is that Oscar Wilde was an Irish playwright, poet, and novelist. He was born in 1854 and he lived till 1900. He had a very good family, and both his parents were, you may call them romantics. Till he lived, he enjoyed the company of so many people, and many people enjoyed his company. But despite this fact, he had some inner worry within him, which was bothering him all the time. And that's why many times when you're reading Oscar Wilde, you will feel sadness like that of Thomas Hardy, his contemporary. He wrote sadistic kind of novels. Not sadistic in that sense, but in the sense that there is sad tone in each of his novels. So Wilde's works are also filled with pessimism, with sadness, with melancholy, and failures. There are too many failures in his works. But the literary movement to which he belonged, that is aesthetic movement or art for art's sake movement, that is, the debate is over by this time, and that art itself is an end and not a means to any other end that I talked of in Wise Messages. His short story collection, that is The Happy Prince and Other Stories, and there are remarkable stories. Specifically, The Happy Prince is a wonderful one, and The Swallow, The Happy Prince and the Swallow. It's a very lovely short story, because if you read it, you will be ecstatic at how kind and sympathetic he had been towards people. Besides that, he wrote this novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, and it also begins like something in art studio Basil Hallward, and the picture of Dorian Gray is exhibited, is placed in exhibition, and Henry, the character there, is talking of indulging one's impulses. That is, aestheticism is being invoked in that thing. And besides that, the importance of being earnest is his play that was staged many a time, and he at times satirized, but again, that dominant cult of aestheticism has been there in the play as well. And besides that, this essay, this play has been transported into an essay, a critical essay, The Importance of Being Earnest, in which two people are talking about the nature of poetry, the nature of art, the function of art, and so many other things, and bringing back the argument to this thing that there are many things in the world which are end in themselves and not means to other ends. So same is the case with poetry or art, that art itself is an end and it's not a mean to any other end. As far as his popularity is concerned, so because he faced so many scandals, or you may say that probably he was actually involved in certain malicious activities for which he was punished, and he lost his, fame in the positive sense, and he became notorious for certain specific things. The short stories that we are concerned in this course, that is the Nightingale and the Red Rose. And you would know this thing that you would have read this short story. This is a wonderful thing. The beginning of the short story, I would like to talk about that, how he has began the story. It's wonderful. The reason is that in the very first sentence, he has cleared a phenomenon. That is, she said that she would dance with me if I brought her a red rose. Cried the young student. Now, look at this. This is precision, wonderful precision. That a long story that a boy went and met the daughter of his professor and had a communication with her, and she said or demanded from him a red rose, and that if he were able to bring a red rose for her, so she would dance. So that's a long communication. It will take a paragraph or two if you are recording those dialogues and descriptions. But that wittiness and precision that is visible here. She said that she would dance with me if I brought her red rose. Roses. Here, that entire story is told just in one statement. And we come to know that, yes, the boy had been somewhere and he had talked to someone. And even the young student, that is another thing, is that he is introduced tactfully that he is a student, he is learning, he is gaining knowledge. But in my garden, there is no red rose. But the problem is that where to find it? From her nest in the home oak tree, the nightingale heard him, and she looked out through the leaves and wondered. The nightingale was sitting in home oak tree, kind of tree that is specifically in England. And this home oak tree is symbolizing two things. One is the ideal world, the world of poets and artists, and the other is the world at large in general. And the nightingale symbolizes a poet and an artist. So there was no red rose, and this red rose, you may consider it something to be coming from one's creative faculty and work and struggle. No red roses in all my garden, he cried, and his beautiful eyes filled with tears. Normal description of on what little things does happiness depend. This is something really remarkable. And it refers to the weakness of human being. The weakness of human being. And I personally have recorded somewhere in my personal writing files that the biggest weakness of human beings that I have encountered and I have observed in thousands of them is the failure to organize one's knowledge and one's wisdom in the time of crisis. This is the biggest problem with human beings. And that is, on what little things does happiness depend? And now this happiness, this is the weakness of it. And many times, like if I go into the detail of it, philosophical detail of it, so many times people's happiness depend upon this, that other people saluted them, or people's happiness depend upon this, that another person was degraded before him, and so many other things are there. Someone smiled to them or clapped for them and walked beside them and called them and texted them, and so many commented on their WhatsApp status, and so many other things are there. While practically those things have nothing to do with one's personality or with one's wisdom or intellect, or so this depicts the human weakness, that how human being is so weak. I have read all that the wise men have written in all the secrets of philosophy or mind, yet for want of a red rose in my life, Is my life made recent? I don't have a red rose. That is something creative. And specifically, it will refer to sympathy, feelings, kindness. Here at last is a true lover, said the nightingale. When the nightingale heard the students, so it uttered, or she uttered, here at last is a true lover, said the nightingale. Night after night have I sung of him. Means, now look at this. Why I said that the nightingale is actually the poet. The reason is that poets are writing songs for lovers. Many poets, although they might be lovers themselves up to an extent, but once they have experienced love and later on they are no more in love, but still they write for other lovers. That's why they are, they are singing. Have I sung of him? Though I knew him not, night after night have I told his story to the stars, and now I see him. Means that finally I've got that lover for whom I used to sing it. Human beings have another weakness as well. That is that I cannot use that word for it. It's a bit against the decorum of academic discussion. So that's why I'll avoid it. Otherwise, I'm compelled to use that. But I mean to say that when we predict something, as human beings, we predict something. And perchance that prediction comes true. So we are very proud of it, that I knew this thing in advance. I knew, and look at my wisdom, and look at this thing and that thing. So poets also, when they write and they encounter certain people, they are really happy for it, that what they wrote about, they found those people, and that, and in creative writers, this thing is there. It will prolong our discussion. Otherwise, I would have recorded that a few names that why there. But Sir Walter Raleigh's points about Shakespeare in his essay, The Gentle Shakespeare, he says that poets or foretellers, they are ahead of us. They are telling things of us, and many people have tried to explain that Shakespeare's plays were the guiding principles for that Queen Elizabeth I, and also later on for Queen Victoria of the Victorian age, that he had predicted so many things and established principles for some certain things. So the Nightingale also felt happy. I told you, he's a poet. His hair is dark as the hyacinth blossom. It's a kind of flower, you may say it. And his lips are red as the rose of his desire. But passion has made his face like pale ivory, and sorrow has set her seal upon his brow. That description is there. And again, that aestheticism is working in it. The prince gives a ball tomorrow, murmured the young student, and my love will be of the company. If I bring her a red rose, she will dance with me till dawn. If I bring her a red rose, I shall hold her in my arms. Again, aesthetics are coming here. And she will lean her head upon my shoulder, and her hand will be placed in mine. But there is no red rose in my garden, so I shall sit lonely, and she'll pass me by. She'll have no heed of me, and my heart will break. Means, no, she'll not pay attention to me because I'll not have that thing that she requires. Here indeed is the true lover, said the Nightingale, and the Nightingale is repeating it. What I sing of, he suffers. What is joy? To me, to him is pain. A very important point is here that what I sing of, he suffers. I only sing of the pain of love, and he actually suffers it. What is joy to me means when I'm singing, I'm enjoying it, but to him that is pain.